Hey everybody, Rick here with the Word for Wednesday. How y'all doing? Enjoying your summer so far? It's been great here. Had a fun Monday row down the Mo, and it was just a great time to catch up with an old friend. And it was interesting because we just talked about everything. You know those moments where you just have a great conversation that just kind of lasts for a lot of long hours. And one of the things we were talking about is this idea of hope versus expectation. What do you hope for? What do you expect? And the thing is that the words often get lost in our society today. We were talking about this specifically in the context of the tension with folks who are expecting a vaccine, expecting the virus to go away, expecting, what do we hope for? Hope is often used so improperly. For me, if God's hand and will are not baked into the outcome, it's not hope, it's just a wish. And if you want to learn more on that, click on Leonard's talk about hope last week. It was amazing. And then one of the things that we were talking about too is a lot of the issues at hand are revolving around just the expectations. What do we expect other people? Do we expect them to wear a mask? Do we expect them what do we expect out of people? And one of the things that's interesting is that expectation is so much different when we put ourselves in the middle of it. It gets better when we put others in the middle of it, but it doesn't ever cross that line into hope because it's almost like expectations. God isn't really in it unless you're expecting something that God says he's going to do. There's a better way of looking at hope. So I've got a couple verses here that I'm going to throw out there just to kind of give you something to think about. First verse is Proverbs 23:18, that surely there is a future and your hope will not be cut off. A lot of times, like right now, how many of you are in your plan A, B, C, or D, E, F maybe of vacation, right? It's like everybody's adapting and adjusting. We're all making different plans and doing different things, and that's been good. And there's surely a future, and our hope will not be cut off as we expect that future to come. See, there's a sense of ambiguity with God in hope. When he talks about hope, he says we're expecting the things that he brings, that he gives, the goodness that he has. And our hope will not be cut off because nothing can overcome God's presence and power and fullness in our lives. So how is that going to ever disconnect? The other thing, look in Proverbs 10:28, it talks about the hope of the righteous is gladness, but the expectation of the wicked perishes. And it's interesting because let's not think of wicked as someone who is just predominantly evil. Let's walk that back a little bit. Let's say it's wicked is someone who is just separated from God, who has no interest. Their expectations are all based on what it does for them, what it accomplishes for them, and what it accomplishes for those that they're around them. Well, hope of the righteousness, which is what the verse says, that the hope of the righteous implies that there is a justified means. The word righteous means to be made justified or made right. It's an accounting term that means that the sum equals, the sum turns out equal. There's no debt to be paid. So the hope of the folks that are not indebted spiritually or morally, is gladness. And that to me is something to really unpack and camp out on and think about, is that in God's presence, in God's power, there is no empty, there is no me. It's all about what am I accomplishing for the sake of the kingdom and God. And that is the hope of my future. And in speaking of the hope of the future, it talks about this in Romans 8:25. But if we hope for what we do not see, with perseverance, we will eagerly wait for it. So we persevere and we wait eagerly for the hope that we do not see. We know that because of God's nature and who he is and his goodness, his promise and his kingdom, that we're going to step into things of the future that are good, that are powerful, and we just have to wait eagerly for them. It's just the waiting that kind of stinks, right? So we go through this. So we wait and we continue to practice good practices, and we continue to move forward with keeping people engaged and economically sound and whole and spiritually and morally positive. if we continue to move in the direction, we will see with perseverance when we wait for it, we will see the hope that God has planned for us. And that's the difference between hope and expectations. Expectations are standards that I put up, but my hope is something that God forms and I give weight to. I put it on God to complete, whereas expectation, I put it on me to complete. And when I hope for something, because God's in control of it, it's in His time, in His way, in His presence, and in His power. So I just wanted to leave you with those couple of thoughts here on a Wednesday, and I hope you're all doing well. Check out what we got going online. If you're not a part of a small group and would like to be, we would love to have you. And they just check on our website. We meet all through the week, and it's available. Or just contact our office or send us an email or a message on Facebook, and we'll gladly get in touch with you. Hope to see you Sunday, and if not, I hope to hear from you online. Thank you so much, and have a great day.